and True Towner now for second. Here comes Electric Amethyst 3 wide. Electric Amethyst doing it again. Electric Amethyst. Oh, Electric Amethyst with the win. Tito Santana, Christopher Brown, can they be caught? Tito Santana will hold on for first. Ernst Wish is the 2020 Golden Boy. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at and turn it back around. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me. All the blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Oh, I paid the dearest price.
Hi and welcome back to another episode of Western Canada Harness Racing Show. Hashtag Tips from Trey. I'm your host. I'm Trey Colbeck. I'm a Schwa Canada member and the official announcer of Manitoba Harness Racing, and I guess handicapper as well. Welcome to this episode 8. We got a lot to talk about this episode. Got two harness racing cards, Summerside Raceway and PEI, and Century Downs on Tuesday. Summerside's Monday, Century's on Tuesday. I also want to try to talk about Hastings. They go Monday and Tuesday as well in Vancouver. And it's opening week here in Assiniboia Downs. They go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, quick math here, 7 race cards we can talk about. Got a special guest coming up later in the show. Pretty excited about that. But first, I want to start the opening segment. I think I'm going to start the opening segment like this. I'm going to try to get more people into everything. So my plan here is to do a quick tutorial each week about all the different kinds of betting there is in horse racing. So this week we're going to start the easiest, and we're going to work our way up to the hardest. Pretty simple. So this week we're going to talk about the easiest, and that's the win place and show betting. So for win place and show, it's pretty simple. You can do there's several different things you can do when it comes to that, but we'll just go from the, start one way and go from there. We're going to start with the show. The show betting, you can put a most tracks it's a minimum of $2. Some might have one, but it's usually a minimum of $2. You put a $2 show bet on a horse. That means that horse has to come first, second, or third. That's the basic, simplest bet there is in horse racing. It's the show bet, first place, first, second, or third. And pretty simple. Usually it's like for $2, the minimal amount you can win back is $2.10. Usually, if the favorite comes in, it will pay not more than $2.10. You're winning 10 cents overall. Sometimes you might get a long shot that comes in and it pays $3, $4, $5, $6. Not, the shows aren't crazy. The highest I've ever seen, I did last year at Manitoba Harness Racing. There was one day where somebody was putting in a lot of money on the favorite to show, and the favorite ended up not winning. So then all the other shows end up paying $30, and that's very rare, but it happens once in a while. So that's a show bet. You put a $2 show bet, you're probably going to win $2.10, unfortunately. You win that if they come first, second, or third. You win. The second one is called the place. Very similar. The only difference is it's first and second. And again, you start getting maybe a little bit more money because it's harder to win. So the horse you bet on, if you bet on number 1 to place, they have to come first or second. $2 bet. Minimal you can get is $2.10. Again, you start getting more and more. It starts getting harder and harder, so you start ending up maybe winning more and more. And the last but certainly not least is the win. And, Most people probably know what that is. That's for first, horse that wins. Again, sometimes the favorite comes in. You might only win 210, unfortunately, based off a $2 bet, but that's when you start getting a lot to go, and that's what all the odds are based off of, or usually wins. So if a horse is 2-1, for every $1 you bet, you'd win $2 back, kind of thing, and that's, I believe that's what that, yes. So that's usually whatever, most of the betting is based off of that. When you see the odds, it's based off a win bet. And then you can go from there. A lot of tracks do things where you can put them all together. You can bet a win place show. So if you do a $2 win place show, that means you put a $2 win, $2 show place, and a $2 show, $6. If your horse comes first, then you're guaranteed probably $6.30 to come back. If it comes second, you would only win. You could probably win. You'd win the place and the show if it comes second. If it comes first, you win the win place and show. If it comes third, you only win the show. So there's that. That's the win, place, and show. So yeah, already that's my quick tutorial on win, place, and show betting. Next episode, we're going to go get a little bit more advanced. We're going to talk about quinellas and exactors. So hopefully, keep it locked in here for that. Coming up later on this episode, like I said, we have a special guest, and we're going to talk about several cards. We have 2 harness racing tracks. We have Monday, Summerside and PEI, and Century Downs in Alberta goes on Tuesday. Then we also have Hastings going Monday and Tuesday in Vancouver. And like I said earlier, we have the opening day of Assiniboia Downs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Keep it locked in here after a quick break. Okay. All right. So we're back, and I got my first guest ever, Cameron Roberts. Right. So we're first, maybe before we get into anything, what do you want to explain what CDR racing is?
So CDR racing is essentially a fresh take on an ownership syndicate. The way we came up with it, myself and Phil Hudon, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Phil being up there in Canada, and a lot of the viewers will be. Myself and Phil kind of got together after he came onto my stream, and I said, "Hey, why don't we try something different?" And he's like, "Anything to grow the game." And we came up with this idea of anyone can join for $75 a month, no matter where you live, no matter where you're at. You get a little piece of every one of our horses. 90% of the purse money made by all the horses is paid out quarterly to all the members. And it's a great way for everybody to own a lot for a little without being locked in on one horse like a lot of other micro shares or fractional ownership groups are. They just pay that monthly fee, and we take 70 of their 75 and purchase new horses. So practically every dollar that they're putting in is getting put towards growing the stable. And the more horses we have, the more money we can bring in, and the more the shareholders can profit. So it's been a good run so far. Ontario being shut down with the COVID stuff, kind of threw a little bit of a monkey wrench into it for us. But other than that, I mean, it's been a blast. We've met a lot of great people. Andrew Raycroft, who played in the NHL. A lot of you guys watching will probably know him. Played for 13 years, I believe, Rookie of the Year in 2005. He owns shares with us. JD Bunkus, big radio personality in Toronto for sports radio, owns shares with us. So we've been able to kind of reach outside of the racing bubble, which was our original goal, and bring some new people into the sport of harness racing.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'm sure you've seen the Twitter feed. You started with Murray, and that was turned into me and these other guys trying to buy horses from Fraser, apparently. So
yeah, that's what we're trying to do. The more owners we can get, the more chance this sport lives on to the point where we can retire doing what we love doing. So that's the goal,
Yeah, sounds good. So we're gonna look at Summerside Monday's card. They got their holiday Monday. believe it starts at 11 Central, which would be 12 Eastern. If my math is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Maritimes throw me off just because it's that extra hour out there.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the daily double, both daily doubles and the pick four. You know what? I'll let my guest go first if you want to kick off the early daily double.
So early daily double here. I thought there was a chance for a little bit of a price. First leg, I think you can go too deep here. I like the 2-horse a lot. WC Little Willie. Corey McPherson, I've watched him drive and he seems relatively capable. I think this horse with a nice post draw probably sits behind. There's not a ton in this race. Probably sits behind the 1, I would imagine. Leaves, maybe the 3 leaves. Either way, I see him getting a pocket trip and should be relatively live from that. And then just to run with him, I would go with the 4 Vintage Winner. So 2-4 in the first leg. I think that's probably the horse to beat in my mind. 5 has a tough draw coming off a qualifier and a little bit of a layoff. So I'll go 2-4 in the first leg. Race 2, probably relatively chalky here, but also going to go too deep. 5, Promise Me Art. Like this horse, second off the qualifier and second off the layoff, should be sharp. And you know what? The other horse I like the rail horse, Miles Heffernan. Not familiar with him. Looks like 27 starts, no wins yet as a driver. I think there's a chance. Trains and drives this one, could just get the right trip. Another pocket trip kind of angle. So 2, 4, 1, 5, I guess, for my daily double. So for $1, it'd be like $4, I want to say.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I definitely, the first race, I agree with the 4. I did take the 5 though. It does have a layoff. I just like how it finished off the year last year. Let me just give you a second here. My reason I like 5 is a lot of their races are in Charlottetown, and it's a little bit higher class, I think, than Summerside. So, but then when I was looking, I was like, well, what? You took the 2, right? The 2 spends a lot of time in Charlottetown. So I was like, oh, damn, maybe I missed it. But I like the 5, Jay's Little Spark, and then the 4, Vintage Winter in my first leg. And then in the second one, what did you say? You took the 5, Promise Me Art. I took that one as well. I also like the 6, Terracotta Bob. Sometimes I get a little hesitant when I see a driver not have a win yet. Like he's trying.
Yeah.
So, he's all around the top there, Heffernan. But, definitely Mark Campbell's one of those names that in PEI sticks out a lot. You hear his name a lot, him and Ken Murphy. So I definitely like the 5 and the 6, and $1 bet makes it $4. So
yeah, I like where you're going with the 6. I do have to say the only reason I didn't put him in, that the layoffs and this is just my angle. So you guys who are betting, take it for what it's worth. As an owner, we never look for any of our horses to be super sharp off the layoff. But there are some trainers out there, and anybody who happens to know, if you're out there betting, and Ralph Sweet and know how he does off the layoff, the guy's sharp. Take a shot. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Anything with something we have, I always say never bet us off a layoff because we are horrible. But there are some guys out there, and especially, like you said, this horse coming in, really not a bad one. I mean, I kind of regret leaving him off. So I think you're onto something with that one because if they bring him back, Mark Campbell, he's deadly. 8 wins and 32 starts. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I always look at it. It's kind of like having the buy in football. Are you better or are you worse after, right? Some people are worse, some people are better. Never know.
Exactly.
All right. This is fun so far. Okay, good. I actually like having someone to talk to.
It's a good time. I'm enjoying myself.
Man. Then we'll jump to race 9. Look at the late daily double there.
Race 9. You want me to go race 9?
You can go first too, yeah.
Okay. Race 9. I like this race. This was that preferred race. Preferred 2. I went ahead. It's not going to be another, maybe I would imagine second choice. Could be favored though. I like the 3, Soccer Hanover. I'm going to go ahead and single in this leg of the pick five, or in the not pick five. I'm so used to playing them in the daily double. Corey McPherson, main reason for it. I like this horse. It's a Dragon again out of an Arts Place dam. I know it's 7 years old. We kind of already know what the horse is. But that being said, you have a layoff situation with the 5 Heart and Soul, who I'd imagine is going to probably be the favorite. I don't know if they leave with this horse. They might try to leave. It shows some speed, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they just ducked this one at the start and got him a trip. So if that happens, I see the 1 going to the front. Taylor Doyle driving, probably. I don't know much about them as a driver. I would imagine they try to leave and take advantage of that rail position, but I don't see this horse having the class. And if the 2 sit in the pocket, this 3 might just pop out. And, every time you see it, it seems like it's clockwork. You see a horse start to die at about the half going into that final turn, and whoever's first up, if they can clear them, it's game on. And typically, if that 3 gets clear, that's where I'm singling Soccer Hanover there to start it. I think they can just get the right trip. Race 10, the second leg of it. I'm going to go 1-2. I mean, it's cheap, that's kind of why I'm singling in the first. The 1 makes a ton of sense. Corey McPherson, again, obviously I'm his number 1 fan, it seems like. But the 2 at a price, I don't mind. I'm not familiar with the Cougar Hall breeding. I'm also not a fan that she's a 3-year-old running against older, but it's a weak group. She seems to be relatively capable, and this is kind of just a hope for a pocket trip kind of play, because I don't see much speed to the outside, and the 1's definitely leaving. So maybe Zach Conway just sits right behind Corey here on the 1, could pop out and just get the right trip. If not, Corey could take them all the way from the rail. So that's where I'm at. So 3 with 1-2 for me.
All right. So back to race 9 for me. I too took the 3. Sorry, game's glitching out on me. Took the 3 Soccer Hanover. But I threw the 5 in there. I always like to keep 2 horses. I hate singling horses if I don't have to. Just watch them break at the quarter mark, and you're like, why am I watching the race?
Yeah. Been there too many times.
Yeah.
Been there way too many times.
Yeah. And then I always think it's a good thing to give novice bettors the 2 horses to kind of cheer for. So like if that ever happens, then they're like, oh, well, at least I have another chance here. Always like the safety net. So I like the 5. You're right with the layover. It's just one thing I always like looking at these half-mile tracks is how consistently they are under 2 minutes. And this horse doesn't seem to have a race over 2 minutes at a half-mile track. So yeah, he'll definitely have the speed. So you're right with the layoff, but it doesn't seem like it matters to him. He'll race fast. Yeah. And I like the 3. And then I too, in race number 10, take the 1 and the 2. Again, I look at that kind of that 2 minute mark. That's why I like the number 2, even with the driver. But this driver's kept him under 2 minutes, other than that once on a sloppy track. So I definitely like. Again, I'm going to go with the $4 bet, 3-5 with 1-2.
I like it. I got a feeling we're hitting both.
Yeah,
I just got that feeling. I get that vibe.
That's the way. It kind of sucks for pools, but sometimes the smaller fields mean you win less more, right?
Yeah. But I'll never complain if I'm cashing. Even if it's a small profit, profit's profit. I'm always good with a cash ticket.
Yeah. Do I tell my girlfriend as long as I'm breaking even, I don't have a gambling problem, right?
It's
fine, right?
No, kid, that's what happened yesterday. We go as soon as we left the race book. I cashed my ticket for Gulfstream. Girlfriend looks over at me. She goes, okay, what are you buying me? Right after.
Yeah.
Right after. It's like clockwork, but you have to. That's part of it. So you guys who are betting, remember, if you want to keep betting, keep going to the OTB, keep going to the race book and having a good time, always buy her something. She doesn't have to know how much it costs or where it's from, but just buy something.
Yeah. Oh, man. Let's see. So we'll go to the pick 4. I believe it's races 4 through 7. And I'll let you kick it off again.
All right. Let me get that pulled back up. So race number 4 here. second and get to that race. I do like this pick 4 sequence. I'm going to kick it off with a single, which is that's something I never do. I don't kick off my pick 4s and pick 5s with a single, but I found a horse that I really like, Legendary Ron. Jason Hughes driving for Nicholas Oakes. This horse ran good. It's down in class and gets the rail. Not a massive down in class, but it's run against better than I would say the 3. The 3's coming in against, it's a 3-year-old running against older, which I'm not a big fan of. So I'm feeling safe playing against that. I think this is a good spot for the 1. So I'll start it off with the 1 in leg 1. Race number 5, which would be leg 2 here. I'm going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to go 4-1-2. The 4 brush cut top pick seems like the horse to probably beat 2 8 holes in a row and 1 from the 8 hole. You guys who follow me on Twitter know how I feel about the 8 hole. We've gotten the 8 hole way too many times with our horses. Just my opinion, but we would say, if you get a horse like that draws bad 2 weeks in a row and they still manage to win one of them, the horse is doing something right. He's super talented. So I'm going to take brush cut. Apple Core Hanover on the rail there has a chance. Then I had to put Mark Campbell's horse on the 2, Windmere Best Man. Leg 3 of it, which would be race 6. I'm going to go with the 4 and the 2 here. 2 getting Lasix for the first time. It's kind of why I had to put that one on there. Figured that would be a relatively live horse adding Lasix. And the 4 is just the best in the field, it looks like on paper. Shows nice early speed. Jacob Sweet training and driving. Is a 14-year-old. Not a fan of seeing the very old horses out there, up there in age. You never know what you're going to get. But if he's sharp, I can't see him having too much of a problem against that bunch. And then leg number 4, the final leg, I'm going to keep it kind of simple here. 2, I like the qualifier with the 2, Adventure Luck, qualified in 201. Not many of these horses are going super strong. So I do like the 2, and a bit of a price play that I like, or not, maybe it won't be a price play, but I just thought the outside draw, maybe they let him go off it a little bit. The 5 horse, you bet I'm good, a good one. I hate when they put the words together, but
Try
I can't imagine. I was just gonna say who's announcer. That has to be even worse. So 3-5 for me in the final leg. So I guess not a super bad ticket. I'm trying to figure out the cost on that, but it's relatively cheap. It's 50-cent base wager, right, or 20 cent?
20 cent, yeah.
20 cent base. So it won't be too terribly pricey. You're going 1 deep, 1 by 3 by 2 by 2. So not bad, I guess. 12. Cut it in half. Yeah, you're staying pretty cheap with that.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
Yeah, while we're on that, I was watching the hockey game and my girlfriend's like, wow, that guy knows all the hockey players. And I was like, yeah, but at least those 20 stay the same for 2 hours, right? And number 1 changes on me 10 times a day.
I don't know how you guys do it.
Oh,
that's just crazy. I could tell. It's funny because we were watching our horse race. We have our horses with the stable, and then me and my girlfriend own our own horses as well. And we were watching our horse last night, and they were getting into the 7th and 8th race, and you could tell the announcer was losing steam as he's going through the post parade. He was so excited for like the first 6 races, and then 7 and 8 come up, and he's just trying to fire through them real quick. He was getting beat down a little bit, I think.
I struggle when there's 8 horse fields. I don't know how they do the Kentucky Derby with the 20. I'd be like,
I lose my mind.
And then because they're all bunched up. I'm like, I think that's a 6. Oh man. Anyway, I'll go back to race number 4. What did I do? I like the 3, the 1, and the 7. Now I'm going to like the 3 because I'm so lost right now. Yeah, had a big win last time, 28-3, 156 or 28-3 final quarter. Seems to be the favorite, and I also like the one that you took, Legendary Ron, that you singled. Again, I liked his finish last week. Gets the inside again, but I like to put 3 horses in each race, and I always put my top 2 picks, and then with a kind of a random one. So I like the 7, Heart and Guts. Last time out, finished first in that class. 159. Again, I give respect to the horses that keep it under 2 minutes on a half-mile track. You don't often see that. But I also liked about this horse was like 2 or 3 weeks ago on a sloppy track, finished third. So if the race is sloppy, which it predominantly usually is on an island, that horse seems to run pretty decent on sloppy tracks. So I like the 1, 3, and 7. Then we'll jump to race number 5. I try not to look at the program picks, but then I end up picking the same horses they did anyway. So I don't. So I like the 2, the 4, and the 6, which the 2, Windermere Best Man, and number 4, Brush Cut, which is one you picked, right?
Yep.
And the 6, Monty's Gone Marble. Again, all 3 of those horses spend a lot of time at Charlottetown. And like I said, just like a little slightly above class. And then that 4, Brush Cuts was at, what's KD? I should know that.
Is that Hiawatha?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yep.
There's just too many tracks.
Oh, way too many. Way too many.
And then you put them down into 2 letters. But then the 6 too spends a lot of time at Charlottetown last year. And it's been all over the top end of that. Okay. Then race number 6. Took the 2, 3, and 4 exactly right out of the program again. I don't know why I always do that. Yeah, that shift in Georgie, you're right. The age is a little concerning. And then a driver, again, who doesn't have a win, but the horse got experience, right? So probably could pull the driver along. Driver just don't do much. They just sit there. And then shit, I shouldn't say that. And the 2 and
when Phil watches this, he'll be up in arms. He'll be saying, "What? You kidding me?"
No. Did you see the accident last week at Century? I'll take that back.
I saw that. Yeah.
The drivers
and
do
Daryl, thank God Daryl Thiessen's all right, because I know, I'm good friends with Tony Elliott. Used to co-host the shows we did for CDR Racing, and Tony's good friends with Daryl, and Daryl's such a good kid, man. I think he's 20. He's in his early 20s, at 23, 24, something like that. Man, did he have a tough break. Broke his collarbone, broke his leg. But so, Daryl, hope you get better. Keep killing it. Tallest man in the bike. He's like 6'3".
Yeah.
But, he gets too bad he can't be in front of the horse instead behind. He'd give you an extra length.
Yeah.
But, hopefully he'll get better and back at it, because he's super talented. That was a brutal accident out there.
He's the pride of Manitoba. I can't think of many more drivers from Manitoba that are better than he is. So give him that. So, right. I think I said Shift and Georgie, number 4. And then I also like the 3 and the 2. Let me see here. This is a race of non-winners. That's always tough when I see all these non-winners, because you look at their finishing site, like, why am I betting on a horse that finishes 8, 7, 6? But they're consistently around that 2-minute mark, and there always seems to be under 30 seconds closing quarter. And Brody McPhee and David Dowling, they got tons of win stats. So I like the 2, 3, and the 4. And in the final leg, you took the 5. You better imagine good one. Yeah, no, I hate that. So I like but I also
good thing you ain't announced.
Yeah. Try me watching the Quebec track, man. I have a hard time, going back between English and French. No, thank you.
No.
I also like the 1. He's marvelous. Gets the inside post. There's that Heffernan again. I'm not too sure about him, but you know what? Maybe he'll have a day. Maybe he'll, actually go off. You never know. Those guys end up having a good day once a year. And then I also like the 6. Cataparca. Mark Campbell, top class driver there. Finished 4th last time out, but got the win 2 starts ago. Again, that sloppy track. It rains so much in PEI that I would bet it's going to be a sloppy track more than a fast track, especially this time of year. So if that horse seems to run well on the sloppy track, and I do the 20 cent and it's 16-20, I always go 3 horses unless one gets scratched before I can change it.
That's a good way to go, though. I like your ticket. I like your ticket a little bit better than mine, actually. I'm probably going to play yours. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I always try. I'm like, I have a tough time keying a horse because every time I do,
It's brutal.
it could be the like 2 to 5 favorite. It could be something crazy, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they'll watch it break at the start, and yeah, over. Try that. Try having a ticket, and then you have to announce the race as if your horse isn't dead last.
Oh, I know. That's the other reason why I couldn't do it. They would have to have the bleep button ready for me so many times. And I know they just don't have it, but they'd have to have something to cut. Cause especially if I got a single somewhere, it's the worst. There's nothing worse than that.
No, I have a mic with a little button, and then I have the producer guy. He always says something stupid in my ear. And I'm like,
you got to hit the little mute button while
turn it off.
Crumbling tickets up.
Yeah. He'll say, isn't that yours that broke? I'm like, yeah. Or I accidentally put the word break in the wrong place. I'll say like, ooh, the 3 horses breaking away from the pack. And then I see the judges' heads turn and I'm like, shoot, can't use that word.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend catches me saying that a lot because I'll say, I'm so used to, I bet the thoroughbreds a lot. So I'll say, okay, well, that horse broke good. And whenever we were watching her harness bets the other night, I think it was Meadowlands we're watching, and I said, babe, your 6 broke really nice. And she goes, what, it broke? I was like, no, not like that. It left really good. Yeah. I do the same things. It's a very, very common mistake to use between the two.
Yeah. And then explaining that when a horse starts galloping, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. It's amazing. I mean, that's our job though, being the ambassadors, not to get too far off topic though and everything, but that's part of my job, your job. And we got to kind of teach people because anyone knows thoroughbred racing.
Yeah.
Because everybody's seen the Kentucky Derby. And one of the most common things said, which I guarantee you've had this, is whenever someone says, oh, what do you do for a living? And when you tell them you work in harness racing, they say, well, what's that? Like the Kentucky Derby? And you say, no, these guys ride in sulkies behind the horse. And they'll say, what's a sulky? Well, it's like a little cart. Oh, so it's like chariot racing.
Yeah.
Not at all like chariot racing, but that's the next thing they always say. And it's, it's kind of on us to kind of educate people. And we're trying to do that. Hopefully, as we keep doing things like this, we can get more people playing,
Hope so. Yeah, I always get I just say I work in horse racing, and then they assume the thoroughbred track in Winnipeg. Yeah. I'm like, no, there's another kind. And then they go to chuck wagon. And I'm like, no, we don't do that much here. Nope. And then it's the chariot racing. I'm like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I wish. If I had like a quarter for every time somebody told me chariot racing, the amount of horses I'd be able to add right now. Oh man,
we'd be loaded. I'd have more money than my betting account has. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah.
Well, as we're talking, I just want to do it because the Hippodrome is going on. But there we go. So we'll jump back. Okay, so we'll jump to Century on Tuesday. Their post time, I believe, is 3:15 Central Time, which would be then 4:15 Eastern. Their local time would be 2:15. All these time zones, too many time zones in Canada.
Too many to keep track of, man. It's a hard life trying to figure out these time zones. We honestly, we deal with it here too in the States. It's just like you said, it's brutal. I never know when anything's going off, and then the programs will print the local time. Yeah. So I'll think it's 1:00 or whatever, and I get to the track and I'm like, what, 3 more hours till Santa Anita? Okay, you got to learn that lesson a few times, I guess, and then finally it sticks in your brain.
Yeah, I don't think there's a track there, but in Canada we have a weird half a time zone for Newfoundland. So really? It's a half hour. Yeah, it's 2.5 hours different. So
oh god!
Once in a while, when I start thinking about the Maritimes, I'm like, ooh, is this one of those weird ones where 1:00 is actually like 1:30 or something? But
that'd be brutal. I'm glad we don't have to deal with that. That would be hard to deal with.
I think it's just the one part of Newfoundland. But hey, if anyone's watching, let me know, because I have a lot of Maritime followers. I have no idea time zones out there. But Century, we'll look at both daily doubles. I believe they have both. I don't think they had both last time.
It's a really nice card out there too.
Yeah, no, these horses are good. A lot of them have some time out in Fraser, so they're got some racing. Some of them spent time in Ontario. They're all over. There are a lot of Western bred horses. Oh, yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, we'll look at race number 1. You want to kick it off again?
Daily double. I like a price in this race. I'm going to go too deep, but I do like one of the longer shots. The 2 Blue Star Dreaming, 4-year-old mare out of Blue Burner. Main reason, I love that qualifier. I mean, she didn't race. I guess she was pulled up at the quarter, maybe like broken equipment or something. I know that's happened on one of our horses before, broke a hopple. I would say, she qualified in 156 flat. That's faster than most of these horses are going in actual races. So, if she's qualifying and like the 5, who's 2-1 morning line, one of the favorites, 5 shows a win out of Fraser in 156. And I know Fraser plays a little fast and plays a little faster than Century. At least in my experience betting, it seems like it plays about a second faster. So a win in 56 out there, but I mean, Blue Star Dreaming shows a qualifier in 56 flat, which is super impressive. So I'm going to take a shot there with the 2, and the 1 will be my other horse that I'll throw in that daily double in the first leg. Stylo Milos. Like this horse, like the rail post, seems to be relatively okay and dropping in class. Was in 12.5 claimers last time out, dropping back in for 8. So I think she deserves to be the favorite, but I do think this 2 has a massive chance at upsetting. And really had fantastic form coming into this. Shows what $8,000 she carded in the last 3 starts, which you ain't going to complain with as an owner. So Blue Star Dreaming, definitely a horse that I like a lot. Second leg, I'm going to go ahead here and just go 3-2. Nothing crazy. Nice qualifier by the 3, 2 minutes and 2. Mike Hennessy driving this one. I think he's also on the 2 horse I liked in the first leg. So maybe an early daily double for Hennessy. But the 2 horse, I'm all Taj. I don't know what to make of this horse. The first qualifier, not terrible. I don't know how that track plays, where they qualified. It looks like it's TK.
Track on 2. That's
TKT.
in Alberta. That's track on 2. It's another one in Alberta. I haven't watched it much, but.
So I'm not sure what to make of the qualifier there. And the qualifier at Century 202, nothing crazy, but he is a 3-year-old. So you're not going to expect something blistering out of this bunch. But the first start, they run 5th. It looked like they kind of just let him do his thing and learn how to race. I'm excited to see how he races now second start, now that he's kind of maybe got some of the greenness out. So 3-2 for me. So I guess I'll go 1-2, 3-2 for the daily double. Dollar daily double cost you $4 to play.
Yeah. All right. So I'll jump back. Yeah. The tough thing about this Century, you see a lot of the horses that have that Fraser times, and they're a little misleading, but at the same time, they're like that argument we talked about. Well, at least they've been racing for the last 3 or 4 months, right? Over these horses that have been sitting in Alberta, not. But I take the 1 as well. Stylo Milos.
Yeah.
I liked the last time out. The only thing is Brandon Campbell. He's one of those guys that wins a lot in Fraser, but he didn't have a great time out last week, I don't believe. So hopefully he'll turn that around because he's used to winning. And then I took the 5, but I'm going to switch to the 6. I'm going to like the 6 better because, again, that's Kelly Hort. And, again, the Fraser times are so misleading. But he's that other guy that if it's not Campbell, it's Hort winning in Fraser. And both of them, I don't believe, had a great time out, but they're used to winning. So they're probably going to go hard this last week trying to make sure that they do. So I'm going to write that down because otherwise I'll forget. I changed. I'm going to go 1-6. I like the 5 to finish third if I was going to do a triactor. And then the second leg, I took the same 3. I like the Title Shark to take the win, qualified pretty decently. And I like that 2 as well. I'm all Taj. I don't know what about it. Like you said, it's figuring itself out. But yeah, I'll take the $1 daily double 1-6-2-3 for $4.
Yep. And I think that's the other thing too with I'm All Taj is like me and you, we've bet enough to know that the horses that always seem to beat us are the ones that we look back and we say, I guess we didn't know what he really was. And that's, it's always the horse like that. Those young horses with not enough starts and they're still kind of learning what they are. And it's just, that's what seems to get you more than anything is those kind of runners. So that's what makes me a little bit, I had to put him on the ticket. I mean, it's just, he might be a monster for all we know. I mean, this is the way it is.
I had a rule going into last year that I never bet a horse that I haven't really seen run or has minimal starts. And then there was a mare on my circuit, never ran before, but it was one of those ones with its pedigree, just instantly was a favorite.
Yeah.
And its first race, it broke twice and ended up getting second. And then its second start, it broke, was 15 lengths behind and won. But because it had 2 breaks in 2 weeks, it won, but had to qualify later that day.
That's
brutal. It was the first time I've ever seen a horse win and then have to qualify later.
Still nice to get the win, though. I mean, I would tell you, if I could find a win with any of our horses, I don't care if they're going to break all. I'll requalify them. I don't care.
I'll say it. It's my favorite call I have. I try to share it as much as possible. I'm losing my mind because I'm like, where's this horse? And the next thing I know, it's coming around 4 wide winning. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
So we'll jump to the late one. Ooh, races 11 and 12. They got a long, big card. Love when they can get 10 plus races in.
Nice full fields too.
Yeah. A lot of horses in Western Canada. They've just been itching to go. Okay.
All right. So I guess for me here, race 11, daily double. I'm going to do something. I'm either going to feel like an idiot or like a genius. I'm going to single in the first leg of this. It's an all-winners of 2 or $9,500 lifetime. The 4 horse, the 5 Pace and Perfect is going to be the favorite. I don't see a scenario where he isn't. But the 4 Luckenbach, I love the name because very clever way of naming that horse. I do like that. But nice post, does show speed. Last week off the layoff, wasn't able to show speed because breaking from the 9 hole, stuck with second tier position. They're second tier out there, right?
Yeah,
I think they are. So
8 wide,
stuck with second tier there. So couldn't really showcase that early speed. I like this one to get to the front. 5's going to be a lever as well. And I think, the older of the 2 vertical horizon runners here just kind of sits a pocket trip and Jamie Gray, pops him out and goes on by. I mean, this horse isn't bad. So I'll single the 4 to start. And then leg 2, I feel like you're safe to spread a little bit here. I'm going to have the 9. I guess that's Maccabi Baby.
Maccabi Baby.
Oh, Maccabi Baby. There we go. But as I said, with the 4 in the first leg, had that second tier, wasn't able to showcase the early speed to get positioning that was probably preferred for that horse. This one's going to be second tier. Obviously likes being in the front, but the one start I see on the form where this horse was not on the front end was in a $5,000 claimer and did not run that great. I mean, ran third, made a strong move. So I think what's going to happen is Brandon Campbell probably going to be aggressive, like you said. They leave, probably tries to retake by the quarter if he can. And I don't know if this horse has enough juice, honestly, down the stretch. So I got the 9 in there, but I'm also going to go ahead and throw the 3 and the 2 in at prices. I like the 3 a lot. Shale Storm, test flight gelding, 6 years old, nice qualifier. Not the best qualifier, but I don't hate it. Should be relatively competitive against this field. Has a lot of outside draws in his form. So maybe a little bit of a better post draw. We'll see what this horse can be. And the 2, Ready and Steady. Main reason for this, it's a pedigree play. Horse has been okay in $7,500 claimers. Kelly Hort, great driver out there. And the main thing is, I mean, it's an American Ideal out of a Bettor's Delight Dam. This horse probably, honestly, this would be one I would put a claim in on. I would put a claim in on this horse all day. Kelly Hort, I'm sure, is a fantastic trainer. So I don't know if I would dare claim one to see if I could improve it. But, this horse has the pedigree to be something. Didn't seem like it panned out a ton. But it had an off year last year, 13 starts only. Maybe with more starts this year, we get to see how good he can be at age 6. So 2.39 in the second leg, Key the 4 in the first leg. Guess for $1, looking at only $3, can't beat it.
Nice. Yeah, so I agree with the 4. I had the 4 in there as well, but I am gonna throw the 5 in. So I again can't key a horse, but one of my favorite horses from Manitoba. If you want to go crazy, number 6, Black is Back Jack. This horse doesn't look like it's a winner, but anytime a lot of Corey Manning's bred horses out of Manitoba are ones to watch out for. He's had some down in Cal Expo. I think he's got a couple in New York now. So this one to watch out for, but I am taking the 4 and the 5. I just every time I see that Manitoba bred or a horse I've called here, I go, "Ooh, I want to," but
because then those are the ones that when they beat you, go, "Oh, I should have just bet it."
Right?
I knew it. I knew that horse. I should have just bet it.
And then not only I'm trying to promote harness racing, I'm trying to promote harness racing, so I should probably put some of my money behind the horses, right? Come out of here. But in the 12th race, I did take the 9 as well, but I also like the 5, Real Buzz. Had a second last time in 158. And then, like you said before, to another horse, this one qualified in 156, which seems pretty quick for a qualifying time. Slightly slower when it did race, though. So I like the 5 and the 9. But that being said, if I got burned on this last week, I forget about the also eligibles. If there's a scratch, I think the 10 Chaz Michael with Kelly, which depending on which one Kelly takes, if both get in or both not get in, could definitely be 1-2. It was pretty quick, a pretty good horse out in BC at Fraser, but officially I'll take 5 and 9 with my 4, 5, 5, 9. $1 equals $4. That too is hard to explain to people. Why does a $1 bet cost $4?
That's the main thing I think people struggle with is it's not promoted as simply as, let's say, like sports betting is.
Yeah.
Sports betting is relatively easy. You got 2 teams. You like the over, you like the under, you like the spread, you like getting points or giving points. And if you like the money line, do you like them to win outright? Very simple, and I think that's why it got so popular. Horse racing, and this is one thing I will say, if you're a bettor, if you're a horse player and you play daily, you should be proud of yourself if you can dig through a program, and even if you don't make a profit every day, if you at least cash a few tickets, you're doing something that nobody who just comes in off the street can do. It's something to take pride in. It's not an easy thing to kind of overtake and an easy game to play. So it does take a lot of brain power, a lot of budget management, a lot of bankroll management goes into play. Because if we could, I would love a situation where I could bet every horse in the field, every race, and just hope for the biggest price. But we can't do that. No. So we got to pick our spots and find, what makes sense and what combinations are useful. And it's definitely a game that takes a lot of patience. But if you pick it up, I promise you're going to love it. That's my girlfriend. Literally, I taught her, I don't know, 2 days it took me to teach her how to read a form. And now every day she's having me print out the racing form for Harris, Philadelphia, or the Meadows, or the Meadowlands, or Hoosier Park. She has me printing out all these harness forms, and she loves it. And now she's picked up to the point. It didn't take her long, but once you get a hang of it, you learn what you like to play, and you can make good money playing this game, and you can have fun, and it lasts you all day long. That's the great thing. Yeah. Races all day; it never ends.
Perfect. Yeah. So the pick 4 goes races 9 through 12. So we'll go through 11 and 12 again. If we changed anything or added anything for this, but I always like, do I talk about it twice? If you get ignored, you can just skip through it through a video. So we'll just talk about it again. But yeah, kick off race number 9, which looks like another preferred.
Yeah, this is a nice. It's actually it's a nice field. It's not really a great betting race, in my opinion, because I don't see anybody beating Showstop before. But it makes for a nice pick 4 ticket, because what I'm going to do, I have 2 keys that I like. You guys know my single in race 11 with the 4, so I'll single the 4 to kick it off in race 9. The horse is just seems to be like 2 seconds faster than the entire field. So I can't really see anybody beating this one. Then you go race 10. This one opened up a little bit more. I like a big price here. I like the 9, No Better Parade. It's a Better's Delight gelding. Big into pedigree. I love whenever I can find something like this, because he's actually up in class a little bit, it seems like, compared to what some of these horses have been racing in. But decent little draw. He might be able to work out a trip. And, Jamie Gray's relatively capable out there in the bike. So 4 in the first leg. Second leg, I'll go with the 9. I'll also have the 6 on there. Munchie Chris. I think that horse makes a ton of sense. Probably going to be the favorite. And then I'll go ahead and take the 8, Just a Dragon. 6-year-old gelding out of Custard the Dragon. This one, probably, if he's ready to go, if he's tight, I think he'd be tough to beat. He shows enough speed to get near the front. Should be positioned well. So second leg, I'll go 6, 8, 9. Third leg, I'm going to key the 4, Luckenbach. And final leg, the 12th, we'll go 3 deep with 2, 3, and 9. So 2 singles and then 3 deep and 3 deep. You're looking at $9 for a buck. Not a bad pick 4 if you can get those 2 singles home, and hopefully cash a decent little pick 4. Probably in that situation, I'd imagine it pays something around, I don't know, for $1, you're getting probably at least 130-ish back, 140, because it's going to be chalky, but I think you can get about 130 out of it.
Right. So yeah, I in race number 9, I did break my rule. I did key the 4. I'll key when it comes to $1 ones, because then it starts getting up in price if you go 2, 3 deep. So I do think the 4 is going to win race number 9. Race number 10, I like the 6, Munchie Chris, because if you scroll over, it doesn't say it right, but it's Manitoba bred, Manitoba owned. Saw this horse race a bunch in my home track. It's been doing really good in Fraser. Kelly Hort, again, have to support my local tracks. I like this horse a lot. It raced good here on a half-mile track. So let's see what it does on the whatever century, 11/16, sorry. I also like, where I lost 7 and 8 in this one. I like I'm a Mama's Boy. It qualified okay. Brandon Campbell. I always see Brandon Campbell, and I've been betting Fraser too much. As that was like the only Canadian track for a while. So anytime I see him in Hort, I'm like, oh, okay, gotta bet them. But then I'm also going to throw in the 8 there, Just a Dragon. Like you said, Hennessy could definitely take it. He qualified pretty good. Again, if it draws in, maybe number 10, Strange Dragon, is one that I kind of also like. I always hate when the horse I like might not race. Because again, it's got to support the Manitoba. And again, it's Kelly Hort if he drives it, or whichever one he takes. So in that one, I like 6, 7, 8. And in race number 11, what did I say for my daily double? I took 4 and 5, but I'm also going to take the 3 in this one. Pipe Wrench Charlie, Philip Giesbrick, another Manitoba boy, since we're talking about Thiessen earlier. Didn't have a too bad trip last time. Finished 3rd in 201. Could definitely be near around the top. And it's kind of my long shot pick, is at 6-1 on the program. Might be one people don't bet. And then in the finale, again, I'm just going to take the 5 and the 9. Real Buzz and Makabai Baby. Maybe 10 if it's in there. I always forget. I've set my bets 2 hours before, and then I forget about it. But I like that Chaz Michael. So 2 straight races. I like the 10.
That's, you know what though, I think you have a very good point with that though, because if Kelly gets both those horses in, that's the key. Whoever he goes on is the winner.
Yep.
And but the downside is if both horses go in, which one he picks is going to get hammered.
Yeah,
absolutely hammered in the betting. So, because that's like a dead giveaway at that point. That tells you they're both live. I think either horse, like you said, has an equal shot. Probably the 10. If the 10 was in over the 2, I'd feel a little more confident. I think the 10's a little bit of a better horse than the 2 overall.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine probably hoping the 10 can get in because that one should be ready to roll.
Oh man, I agree. Dead giveaway, whichever one they take. Sometimes they take the lesser horse though, too, just to maybe give it a more of a chance. Like they give the guy who's not used to a horse that thinks they're going to win, so then they could finish 1-2, hopefully.
Good. Yeah.
Sometimes I see that happen a lot where a guy will take the lesser classed horse, but who knows? Might be one of those situations. There's a scratch, and then he just keeps the 10 scratch too. You never know. Do that a lot. So, that's the thing. You got to pay attention to the scratches going in the morning and the changes, because something simple as a driver change throws everything off.
Yeah, it can mess an entire ticket up. I mean, that's it's one of those things people don't realize that as far as the connection play, thoroughbred racing, it matters a decent amount, but harness racing, the connection plays matter so big when it comes to wagering, because these guys, they know where they're going to make their money on. It's rare that you see the whole loyalty type of angle played. You'll see it sometimes. Tim Tetrick's a good example. Him and Scotty DeMonico. Anytime DeMonico got a runner, fair bet that Tetrick's going to be on it. But most of these guys, if you see them ever stray away, anytime Yannick Gingras takes someone else over a Burke horse out at the Meadowlands, to hammer it, because it's like, why else? Like, why would he go away from his bread and butter? Basically the guy feeding him and giving him all these great horses, and he's going to choose against. There's a reason for it. And if you can, I know people that just play the changes, just play the driver choices, and they do just fine. So that's a hell of an angle to go after sometimes when you're betting harness racing.
Yeah, it's the thing you got to pay attention to. Sometimes if you jump into a track you don't know the driver differences, right? And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, this guy won 5 races. Maybe I should have actually bet him more than you think. Because I know here on my track, the one guy had over a 50% win percentage. So you kind of knew if his horses was in there.
Oh, yeah.
The only tough time is he drove a lot for this one trainer, or he drove his own horses. So when they both were in there, you're like, okay, who's it going to be, right? He's obviously going to take his own horse, but then sometimes the other guy is like, well, but like you said, you always need to know the driver. Anyway, awesome. This has been great, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for having me on. And I was glad to be a part of it. It's been fun. I would like to see more of this, and would like to do more of this. Anytime you want to join up and handicap some cards, I'm always down. It's fun. Nothing I love more than a little bit of bet. It's Sunday. It's a relaxing day. Give me some programs. I'm a happy guy. That's all I need.
For sure. Yeah, I got Summerside in there, and then Assiniboia here in Winnipeg starts this week, so I'm going to be all over that.
Oh, yeah. I'll be betting that too. I love that track. It's actually a fun track to bet.
It's a good track. I didn't realize how much it was watched outside of like here until like the last year or two. And I was like, oh, because I know on Twitter they're like, it's ass downs everywhere. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. It's a fun track, competitive racing, great name. You can't beat anything that you can call ass downs.
Exactly.
Like that's one thing the sport needs. If anything, and they want to know what'll save the sport, more tracks that you can call ass downs.
And it's
a win-win.
Yeah, it's funny because it's actually just the name of the area. Assiniboia. So it's like when you put everything with the Aboriginal names here, sometimes you get things like that, right? So because we got Assiniboine Park and we got Assiniboia down, so it's a good time.
It's definitely fun. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That'll be good. But yeah, man, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your podcast and everything. And we'll keep hitting it hard. You've been doing a great job. I listen to your stuff all the time. Love it. Wish more people would do it.
Yeah.
We definitely need more people to do it if we're going to gain some new fans and get some new people involved in the sport. So, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. And I'm always going to be listening no matter what, because you've made me some money so far. So I stick to who's making me money.
I know. I've been surprised. My first episode, I was like, if I go 0 for 10 on the day, I'm not doing a second episode. But I ended up doing okay so far.
It's a tough thing putting your picks out there because it's a thankless job. If people win, they ain't going to say, hey, thanks, Trey. This was a great, like nobody's going to reach out and say, hey, that was a great job. But whenever you lose, you hear it from everybody. Yeah. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst, but it's fun, man. And you're doing a fantastic job. And I can't wait to see what you can kind of grow everything into.
Trying to do it. I think it was Garnett Barnsdale tweeted once, the worst job is being a handicapper because you have, on a good day, you're like 20% right, but then you have to wake up the next day pretending like you know everything about horses, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're exactly right. I mean, and sometimes you just got to take a beating. You got to take your beatings in this game. It happens to all of us, and get them out of the way and then hope for a better day the next. Can't change your strategy. You got to stick to your guns. And if it worked for you once, it'll work for you again. I've seen too many people change their strategy up, and you make all these adjustments, and there's one way to win a race, 10,000 to lose it. Stick with the one that you find making you the money, and accept your beatings when you have to, and you'll be all right in this game.
yeah, I always like putting other analogies on. It's like your batting stance or your golf swing,
Yeah.
right? You change one little thing, you're not going to do it. May as well just do the thing you've been doing your whole life. You strike out, it's going to happen, right?
You're exactly right.
But baseball is
Exactly
the same
right.
thing. If you get on base 25% of the time, you're doing all right.
That's true. Hey, that's fine. And that's, guys get paid millions to just get on base 25% of the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, nothing wrong with 25%. I would love to hit it 25%. I'd be happy if I hit it 25.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you for joining me on this episode. We talked with Cameron about Summerside that goes on Monday at 11 a.m. and Century that goes, I believe, at 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Real great guy. I want to thank him again for coming on and for helping share everything. I'm gonna try to do a quick turnaround and have opening day Assiniboia Downs #AskDowns going on Monday, and I'll try to mention Hastings as well. They go Monday, Tuesday. Assiniboia goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I believe Hastings is 7 Central. Assiniboia is 7:30. 3 days. So yeah, we're gonna try to get that out later today or tomorrow as well. Have a quick back-to-back episode. Make sure to follow me at TreyMBHarness. That's at TreyMBHarness. Email me at tipsfromtrey@gmail.com if that's what you want to communicate. I'm always down to talk about horse racing, racetracks, anything that needs to be talked about. Make sure to give Cameron a follow. I believe it's at CDR Racing. Let me just, you know what? Why ask dumb questions when I can just... Yeah, his Twitter handle is at CDRCam. That's at CDRCam. And I believe his YouTube channel is at CDR Racing. Like he said, he owns, it's like a joint ownership group kind of thing. I've looked into it. It looks very interesting, very fun, good way to get other people, newer people into this industry. So like always, I'm Trey Kolbeck. #tips from Trey. Make sure to keep it locked in here. See y'all next time. Goodbye.